In bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh,
That you
you
do.
gotta give it that fuck on that thing.
I'm trying to get see what that be like, right?
in the background if I keep on going back
Yeah,
and forth.
because I can't see, man. I'm just like, I need it like on the list. Like, we gonna talk about this because the hot two thing, I can't even say this.
You can. Hawk Tua. I spelled out for you. The animal hawk, the number 2, and then Y. Hawk Tua.
Because a lot of people don't even know about it. That's another thing, too. I need a topic.
A lot of people know about that, bro. It's taking over social media right now. Fuck, man. The fuck isn't the camera not working, bro? Fuck, man. It's dumb shit, bro. All right, we're back. We're back live.
All right, man. That was live. I guess that was what you call live TV. If this was TV, so we're just waiting for Anthony to get on. Anthony, are you there?
Hold on.
Hey, good to see you, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, we just was working out some kinks, man. How's it going?
It's going good, brother. It's going good. Yeah, I saw yeah, as I was working through it and everything. I've been here for
Yeah.
about 10 minutes. Yeah. I showed up right on time, just right on time though.
Hey, just like a Marine, man. Hey, we gonna always make you on time.
Yeah, I don't do that 15 minutes prior no more. I've been a civilian too long.
Gotcha.
I believe in cutting it close. You know what I mean? Just cutting it a little
Hey,
close.
yeah, we were just working out all the cake. So how's it been going, man?
It's going good. It's going good. Work is going good. Life is going good. Still putting my book together and everything. So a lot of work in that. I'm gonna tell you something, man. So
Mm,
as I go through it, it's Men's Mental Health Month and everything. I
mm-hmm.
tell you what, man. If you start doing your memoirs and stuff and you share them, it's like
Mm,
opening up old wounds and pouring salt in it, right? So you just like you
mm,
kind of working through the issues again after you've already compartmentalized. So that's
gotcha.
kind of like what I've been that's not kind of that's exactly what I've been doing. Like I still go to counseling, still go to the VA, still do all my
Got,
stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's been challenging. It's been really challenging because
got,
we make these lifelong friends while we're in the military, and you see everybody grow and develop and become
gotcha.
a different person than than what we were in the military, which is good, by the way. That's real good because that's growth, that's development, it's finding out
Hell
who you
yeah, it
are.
is.
You know what I mean? So yeah, as I've been working through these issues and stuff too, it's enlightened me, and I've looked at it in a different manner than the
Yeah.
way that I've looked at it in the past,
Well,
um, and that's pretty much it. I'm happy as fuck to be back on the show. First off, like this,
hell
I
yeah, we happy
enjoy
to
this.
have
I
you.
enjoy this. So
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
no. So I was just gonna ask you, I know last week we were kind of. I mean, last time you was on the show, we kind of touched on a little bit of this shit about like relationships.
Yeah.
Like, what? So I had a question. What
hmm
is your what is your do you think anybody should go back to their exes? Because I damn sure ain't going back to mine. The
I think. All
fuck.
right, so this is a touchy subject, and I'm
mm,
gonna be honest with you. I think it all depends on the relationship. What ended
mm,
the relationship? Have they sought help from the issues itself? So, and I just did a study on. I just read studies on this. The number one relationship killer is from a lack of communication and commitment, not infidelity, but commitment to actually, let's say, go to counseling, or commitment to work on personal issues or family issues included. So that's the number one, like, relationship ender is commitment. To
mm-hmm,
circle back and to get into that relationship, they'd have to evaluate themselves. Have they gone through the proper counseling, the steps?
mm-hmm.
And then I'm a huge believer in this, taking accountability for your shortcomings
Hell yeah.
and changing yourself. Like if I know that, hey, um I come in from work and I'm not, emotionally available at that time for my significant other, that's something that I would need to personally work on, right? And sometimes that's, once we
Yeah.
compartmentalize and actually work on that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm,
we realize where we're wrong at. We can admit it, and then we can, seek counseling, go to our friends, our brothers, people that understand this, and then actually implement a plan to be better at it, which is like whatever it might be, whatever the issue might be.
yeah.
So me personally, I can't really, I can't circle back because usually we got to a level of miscommunication, toxicity, or something like that that led us to completely dissolve. So me personally, this is me. It would be very, very challenging to do that. And then a lot of times too, as far as men are concerned, whenever a woman, like, okay, so we know that women initiate about 75% of divorces, over
Yeah.
68% of breakups. Um, stemming from emotional abuse all the way down to financial instability, financial
Mm,
literacy, just communication efforts, things like that. Women end relationships. And historically, I've looked at my dating history, marriages. Women,
mm,
like in historically in mine as well, have ended relationships. So, in order to actually, for to circle back around, it would
mhm.
be just imperative to communicate these types of things, like whatever that dissolve the relationship. So
So,
yeah,
so do you think women ever take accountability though?
there are women that will do that.
Hmm.
I've experienced it before. And you know it takes a certain amount of maturity too. But but I'm not going to sit here and bash women at the same time. For the most part, they don't really take accountability in my experience, just my experience. So it's really challenging to say. Again, I think it all depends on the person.
Okay.
Um, and we have to look at, there's a myriad of things too, as far as children, as far as their family is concerned, and if there's dynamics in which we don't understand. In my experience, though, most women do not hold themselves accountable, because
Mm,
that means you have to change. And if they don't see anything wrong with their behavior, for instance, abandonment, um,
yeah.
just leaving off a cuff and not giving you the reason why. Now, here's the thing, too, is men, we got to understand you're not owed a fucking explanation of why
No.
somebody leaves you. So
Mhm.
you're, and that's part of being a man, is like, if a woman
No.
wants to pack up and leave, she can
Real
pack
talk.
up and leave at any time she wants to, and you're
Real
not
talk.
owed anything. Now, then it goes into our mental health and abandonment issues, that then we have to do what? We have to look at, evaluate what got us there, blase squaze, all that bullshit, right? So,
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah.
so it's just true, man. It's true. So, but that's the thing too, is we got to realize that nobody owes you. Nobody has to say. A woman doesn't have to say why they're leaving. They can just pack up and bounce. Now, if we do that, if
Yeah.
we do that, we are not good people.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
double
Yeah.
standard to
We're
this.
villains.
Yeah, we're villains. We're villainized
Yeah.
for it. For a woman to do it, she's given that leverage of, oh, she had to do it for her mental health, or she had to do it. Men do,
Mhm.
or society itself doesn't give a fuck about men in that regard. They're like, okay, you're a man, you suck the fuck up, you keep on going.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
A man does that to a woman, though. It's like, oh, he didn't love you. I mean, again, it goes back into, you know, really, like, there's a lot of dynamics to it, a lot of dynamics. And then sometimes two people, there's studies that were done, okay, is as relationships get older in time, that the two people really kind of grow apart. Now,
No, I,
science says this. People think that if you're together for these 80 years or whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter, 40 years, 50 years, that you're going to be like this. It's not like that at all, because a lot of times we miss these communication efforts, and people aren't necessarily willing to go to marriage counseling, relationship counseling, because it takes two individuals to want to make it work. So there's studies on this. Science says that. So, like, that's not me. That's studies. So I've
well,
just read it. Go ahead.
so
I'm
so
sorry.
do you so do you think that we like that they always say that once we would at a breakup we hit the streets, like we always go back to the streets and go find we go hit the club, we might go hit somewhere over in Tijuana at the Chinese buffet over there, you
All
know.
right. So are we talking about me right now? Because this is exactly what I just posted on my Facebook. So I'm like, I literally just, like, I'm like, I'm going back to my hoeing phase, because, like,
This shit wrong with it.
I just literally went through a breakup where a woman didn't give me the explanation why I know why she left. She got orders. She got promoted. She got orders.
Yeah.
She was, there was issues as far as, like, her previous relationship. I provided
Hmm.
emotional security, emotional support. I gave her a safe space to bask in her femininity. I gave her everything she wanted in a man, but she wasn't able to reciprocate what I wanted in return because of her highly toxic marriage, then her having offspring with that individual. So I was,
Oh
I spent 9 months building this relationship, right? 9 months. And
man,
then, individual they got their orders, they went overseas. And
yeah.
so I'm just like, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna go through
Hey,
my whole phase.
I told my, hey, I'm on the same type of time. I just got out of a relationship. I was damn near engaged, but I told myself I'm gonna go check out that Chinese buffet they have over there in Mexico. It was great food, I heard. I'm
Yeah,
gonna probably travel. I'm gonna make sure all my bills is paid. But we're gonna
yeah.
segue right here. You familiar with hip hop, right?
Me?
Yeah.
That's all I listen to, brother.
Okay, so what do you think about the Kendrick concert? Was that did you get a chance to see it?
I did, and I only saw clips of it. I only saw clips of it. But from what I
But what do
heard,
you think though? What do you,
I
what do you
well, for me, like Kendrick, first off, he's a living, like he is to me he's the top of what I feel is what hip hop should be. Like he's up there
I
with
agree.
we're talking Wu Tang, Nas. I can't put Jay-Z up there no more because of his shenanigans. We
Why you
already know.
can't put home up there? That's the rap.
Because listen, we ain't gonna get into the politics of it. I'll just be honest with you. Like a lot of things just reminded me of some of the dirty stuff that was going on in the industry whenever I was a jit, whenever I was young, and I didn't really pay
Yep,
attention to it. But now I pay
yep.
attention to it. I'm like, bro, that's a huge
Oh
these
yeah.
are
Oh,
huge
I know.
red flags.
I know that exactly. I know what you're talking about.
So,
I
so Nas ain't
Yep,
got no dirt. You know what I'm saying? Nas ain't got no
yep,
dirt. Wu Tang, the whole Wu Tang clan, like to
mm,
me, like we're talking like the pinnacle to me of hip hop.
yep, yep.
Tupac he didn't have no bullshit going on.
No,
Biggie ain't
no.
got no bullshit going on. Like to
Yeah,
me, Kendrick Lamar, he's a living legend, like those
like,
men. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But the clips that I saw and what I had read about, he's
Mm.
bro, like he's on a different level. He's just on a
Man,
different level.
I seen it and I was so happy because I was like, yeah, finally Drake is over with. Because I'm not a Drake fan. I know people get on me about it, but I was happy that he kind of did that for the city too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not really a Drake fan myself. Like I think a lot of his stuff is catchy, but
Mm.
I'm not the biggest fan of Drake, if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But he's catchy. He has some good, he has some decent music. He got some stuff that
Hmm.
he's got some decent messages in some of his music. Um, but he's not he's he, he's probably in the top 50 for me. Top 50.
Oh damn, top 50. Okay.
Yeah, he might be in the top 50, but I mean, you gotta look at like through the years, through the decades of hip hop, like he's going against
Hmm.
Rakim, he's going against the
Yeah.
whole Wu-Tang, he's going against like all the greats, Nas, Tupac,
Yeah.
Biggie, Big Pun, like he's going against
Yeah.
all,
Oh yeah. Well, hey. Once you throw pun up on there, that's a lyrical assassin. I just think,
absolutely.
yeah, I
Big
just
L,
think
Big
that,
L. People can't forget
yeah,
about Big L. They can't forget
got to
about
throw
Lost
L on
Boys,
there.
De La Soul. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I mean, these guys are these are classics, man. The Onyx.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So to me, like, like Kendrick Lamar, he's like for right now because I think hip hop has really lost his pop.
I agree.
I
I
like
agree.
whenever we put individuals like Sexy Red up there in
I
this in
said the
this
same thing.
like
I
I just we miss the whole reason and culture and everything behind hip hop, which
yeah.
is literally oppression, which is literally telling
Yep.
stories, which is understanding the stories of
Yep.
why they even came into fruition. Like to me, hip hop in its rawest form is
Yep.
like Inspected Deck on let's see, what was the name of that? Well, on Cream,
Did,
whenever you have
yep.
Inspected Deck, and then whenever you have Inspected Deck, to me is like one of the best lyricists of the Wu Tang Clan, and he
Hey.
didn't get as much clout as he should have gotten.
Hey,
You know?
the most educated lyricist that you would probably hear. But as we keep transitioning topics, what about this Kim Jong topic? You
Okay,
familiar? Yeah.
so to me, like I don't. All right, so from
and
what I
Putin.
understand about it, yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about him meeting with the Russian dictator, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. That shit is kind of scary. You think they might call us back up? You ready? You ready to go
no, I wouldn't dare.
back?
I wouldn't dare. Like that's the thing. They got all this whole young generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I wouldn't dare, bro. I wouldn't dare. But it is kind of frightening whenever we're talking about the entire world and our
Yeah.
economical views and how we actually how we're intermeshed with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Two dictators of two separate countries that
Mm-hmm.
really have nothing in very little in common other than
Uh,
dictatorship.
pretty
It
much.
is a frightening, it is kind of frightening for our country. But and not to cut anybody off or whatnot either, but now we have an individual that's running for president that has 34 felonies. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that the way that our country is going and the political and the dynamics of our country as well
Yep.
has become extremely volatile. I just had a conversation today with a young lady I've known her for 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and she was so volatile against Trump. And the thing is, I'm not a Trump supporter either. I mean, everybody supports somebody, but she said that I was dense because I didn't, that I said, hey, people can vote for who they want. I fought for this
Yeah,
country.
I
You
agree.
want to vote for Trump?
I agree.
Please vote for him. If you want to vote for
Yep.
Biden, vote for him. If you want to put on there, write in Hillary Clinton, write in Hillary Clinton.
Hey,
That's your right. So I'm
I,
not going to sit here and talk negatively and down to anybody because they want to vote for somebody. I've done it before. I lost a lot of friends.
hey,
I
shit.
I made myself
Especially
like an
through
asshole.
Facebook. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I made myself look like an asshole, and
Yep.
that's not really what I want to be remembered as either.
Mhm.
So vote for who you want to. I fought for that right.
Yep.
Go vote. Just go vote. You know what I'm saying? That's
Hey,
it.
you hear it, man? Take your ass down there and vote.
Yeah.
So we're gonna switch up another subject. So I don't know if you're familiar. This is at my alma mater. USC was a homeless man stabbed to death at USC.
Uh,
Unhoused individual.
yeah, I did hear
Yeah.
about that, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
be honest with you. That is completely egregious.
Definitely
It's
is.
like
Definitely.
it's heartbreaking.
Yep.
Just because a man is on the street. And first of all, I'm gonna be
Mhm.
honest with you. I went through homelessness, so it
Mhm.
could be anybody. It could have been a veteran.
Yep.
It could have
Hmm.
been. It's somebody's sibling. It's somebody's son.
Yep.
It's somebody's father potentially.
Mhm.
Like eh, I think that the conduct is completely egregious. In my opinion,
Yep. No,
it's
I
wrong.
say the same thing. The unhouses, they have to worry about themselves. People don't realize this. A lot of unhoused individuals, when you hear these stories on how they get hooked on drugs, some of this is not something that they did before they became unhoused. They started doing using drugs to stay up at night so nobody wouldn't harm them. So in turn, it becomes like it's like a vicious cycle. But to attack somebody that's on the street just because of that, and I feel like it's one of those things. It's like it's a vulnerable person, you know. So, a name or nothing never gets mentioned. They just say, "Oh, well, this unhoused person was stat." Like USC, anybody ever been on campus is a prominent campus at best. Yes, it's in what people want to call "quote unquote" the hood, but it's like it's one of those things, man. It's like you see it, you hear about it, you see it, and then it's like these people go. These people are our fellow Americans. Like these are the people that
Hmm.
Everybody we live in. When you live in the state of California, everybody, most of the people that I kind of know, you one meal away, or one missing rent away to be in the same position. So,
Yeah,
mm,
it's very challenging for me to understand why that would happen. And even
mm,
here, I'll even take it a step further. Like
mm,
I don't think, like I don't claim to know a lot about hardship other
mm,
than the things that I've put myself into and put myself through. But I have been in I've been in like the hood and fucking in Baltimore. I worked
mm,
down in Southeast DC. I've been in
mm,
some places where, where you would think that really, really bad people are. And here's
Yep.
the issue: is like most of the people mind their business. The ones that don't are the ones that are trying to really cause and get
Yep.
to try to
Mm-hmm.
get a reaction out of an individual.
Yep.
And for something to happen to a homeless person, you know,
Mm-hmm.
even like even dope boys that I was locked up with, like they don't do this shit. They don't.
Yeah.
Like these are
Yeah.
whoever killed that. It's a real criminal individual that had
Yep.
like that's a bad person. Dope
Yeah.
boys like don't do that shit. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Yep.
real dope boys, they don't do that. So it's
It was
just
a
to me
code.
it's bad, huh?
Got to. Yep. So we're going to switch to another topic. So do you know about this bishop? I don't know if it went viral that his church got robbed like maybe a few maybe years ago, but he just got sentenced to 9 years for like embezzlement. So what do you think about prosperity preachers?
I don't. Oh,
And he
what do
was
I
kind of
think
like
about
one of
it?
those.
Okay, so now this is the first I've heard about this topic, but
Yep.
I can just tell you from my Christian
Yep.
background that I don't. All right, so Jesus wanted us to have a beautiful flock. So to
Yep.
me, most of the money should be set to the flock. Like if
I
a
agree.
church wants to, put something together for the homeless, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
like to me, that's what really churches should be there for. It shouldn't be for
Exactly.
a profit. It shouldn't be for a massive profit. Don't get me wrong. The pastor, whoever, it doesn't matter what church it is, what denominate. It doesn't matter. It's
Mm-hmm.
really for the people and the
Mm-hmm.
individuals that put money into that institution because it's still an institution, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and no matter what your religion is, whether it's Islam or if it's Christianity or Judaism,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. It's all about serving one God, whether you want to call him Allah, God, or whatever. It's more about serving the people after, with all the funding and everything. It's not about serving the individual who puts on all of the, who does all the scriptures and speaks. So to
Mm-hmm.
me, it's egregious. Again, I'm gonna use the word egregious a few times here. So
Got you.
it's disgusting that
Yep.
individuals, profit so much for it, and then they have nicer vehicles and yachts and boats, or
I
not yachts,
said
but
that.
boats, and then
Yep.
their flock, and to
Yep.
me, you're not doing exactly what God's work is, which is taking people from homeless, putting them in some type of housing,
Yep.
feeding them, clothing them, getting them off of drugs, hiring individuals
Mm-hmm.
from institutions of higher learnings, psychologists, individuals that have been reformed as far as they were addicts. You should be hiring these individuals to get those people back out in society, working
Yep.
again in order to be productive citizens to our country. That's my
I agree.
ideology. In a
Yep.
perfect world, we're not in a perfect world, so
Hey,
I mean,
but no, I'm on the same level. So would you consider those people in a way like I guess I would say old
greedy.
school scammers? Or
Yeah,
you
they're
think
they're they're greedy. They're greedy,
yep.
man. It's greed. It's literally
Yep.
comes down to me over you. That's what it
Pretty
comes down to is me and my what is it? My lifestyle, my lavishness over you and the flock.
yep.
And those individuals that are truly altruistic and benevolent, they're not going to think like that because the utopian society, we're trying to work towards getting people off the street, making sure that they're not addicts, or getting them the help so that they can, control their addiction or defeat their addiction, putting
Yep.
them back to work, putting together some type of, or utilizing resources and putting it together and making sure everybody can do things together, communal. Because
Yep.
I believe in communal effort and working together to make a better society overall because
Yep.
it's going to make us safest, safer, and it's going to make us work together
Exactly.
more and love each other more and things like that. And don't get me wrong, we're not in
Yep.
this loving type of world that people think we are. You know what I mean? But
Hey, we
that's
see
what we
it every
want.
day.
Yeah.
Yep. So what do you think about this upcoming debate between Trump and Biden? I know we were kind of discussing politics a little bit earlier.
So I am not. Um, I'm not a fan, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number
Okay.
one, I'll probably have I got a few different reasons. Number one, Joe Biden is when we're talking. I think that he has a good heart, but I also know that he has a stuttering issue. So whenever we're
Mm-hmm.
debating him, like whenever anybody debates him, he's going to have a stutter. He's had a stuttering problem his entire life.
Mm-hmm. I'm
So
definitely agree with
it
that.
comes out whenever he's debating. Individuals call him slow and he's old and decrepit and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
to me, I believe overall that I think that that works against him. Now, Donald Trump, he is the king of what is it? Like he enjoys he gets pride out of insulting people. So
Yeah.
he's going to insult, and then Biden is going to bite off on that. He's going to insult back, and it's just going to be insults back and forth
Yeah.
without a real debate. So to me, I think it's kind of a waste of time because you're going to get two old men up there, and
Yeah.
it's going to really just make us as Americans look like, wow,
Yeah.
bro, y'all can't fucking do any better than these
Yeah.
two old assholes that are going
Yeah.
back
Because
and forth. You know what I
I mean,
mean? Like,
they should put them in the UFC cage and let their ass fight, man. That's how it should be. Shit. To
uh,
be honest, like that's the only way you could kind of prove. Because I always thought if you're supposed to be the president, you're supposed to like have the stats. You're supposed to look like some. You got to look at them and be like, oh well, we're not going to fuck with that country because our president probably bench 400 pounds, probably, probably an ex, I don't know, probably special forces or some shit like that. We got like the two grumpy old men and shit. So it's like,
yeah, yeah,
so I know we were talking about hip hop earlier. So I don't know if I know you're familiar with Remy Ma, right?
yeah.
With Remy Ma, yeah. So her son just recently got arrested for murder, which is crazy.
I did
So I
not
was
know
like,
that.
yeah. So it's kind of been like this. So I was hearing one podcaster say, "Do you think?" Because they always they always say the sins of the father, but what about the sins of the mother? You know, we never
Oh,
talk about that part. That's kind of it's a touchy subject. I know we are women viewers, but you know,
yeah. So, yeah, we touching on a lot of subjects right now. We touching on some people and some discernment we're gonna have here.
yeah.
So my thought process is this. Um, Overall, who's better at making men? This is
Mhm.
opinionated. This is very opinionated.
Exactly.
So to me, a man is here to sharpen another man.
Pretty much.
And that's through just this is right here just through my experience again.
Yeah.
And I feel that men make men better and also hold men to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Now, I also understand that in the past 30 years, there's been a huge amount of what going on, like single
Yeah.
family or single parents
Yeah.
in all communities. It's not just
Pretty
one
much.
that people
Yeah.
like to really just point at.
Yeah.
It's
No, I know.
literally.
Hey, I hear it. So I hear it often.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've read, like, about 2 months ago, I read some statistics, and I was like, oh
Hmm.
wow, like people just don't know the statistics, right?
Yep.
Um, so I think that overall men are really good at sharpening men and making men better. When it comes to
Gotcha.
the mother's sins, we'll say, or the mother's ability to raise a man, I think that it's a little more challenging based off of they don't understand the complexities it is to be in a man because of how hard we are on each other. So,
Exactly.
as men, we hold ourselves to a higher standard because our boss is going to hold us to a higher standard. We're going to have to work through that no matter what way it is. Okay.
Yep.
Um, um, so I think that overall that women in this regard, are better at raising women. I think that,
Mm.
I, this again, this is just my opinion, man. We're touching some touchy subjects right
Yeah.
now.
It's
So,
gonna get
so
dicey on the Smoking and Joking
yeah,
podcast. Please subscribe,
yeah. So, but I don't want to put
like, and
anything out there.
subscribe.
Yeah, I don't want to put anything out there that could make me sound like sexist or anything like that either. But women are better at what? Raising women and making women ladies. Men are
Yep.
better at sharpening men and make them harder to
Yep.
ensure they understand what chivalry is, to make sure that they understand what their
Yep.
primary objectives are in relationships. Now, as I know that sometimes it all comes down on the individual, being the
Yep.
child or the adolescent, whatever, that
Hmm.
makes their own decisions, of course. But I think that overall, the influence that we have, that we impact, is going to be our same sex whenever we're growing up, instead
Gotcha.
of, you know, vice versa. So,
So do you?
yeah.
So how come? When you go into school, they always teach boys. You should open the door for a girl. Or stuff like that. But how come we don't teach girls how to, treat boys? Do you think that's something that? Yeah, I know
Yeah.
these are dark.
Yeah. So to me, all right, so we're going to talk about sociology and the way that the
Hmm.
60s and 70s really formed the country where it's at today. We had
Yep.
the Equal Rights Amendment, which was absolutely needed. Then we had
Hmm.
women's rights that absolutely needed. And then we had this ability, or putting women to work in the 50s or 40s, I should say, during World War II, in the factories, making
Yep.
tanks, doing all these different things that they did. And then since there, we've evolved as a country to really make women more independent. Independence, to me, in the aspect of womanhood, today has become really fucking toxic,
Hell
extremely
yeah, it has.
masculine. Whenever I
Yep.
have a woman to describe, I ask them, well,
Yep.
describe yourself to me. And I think to myself, it's just like, whenever the first thing a woman says to me is fucking independence, I'm like, congratulations, welcome to manhood. We've been doing that for thousands of fucking years. So
Hey,
my thing is like this,
amen.
a woman, like, her primary objective and the way that she describes her character and ability should not be through independence. She should say,
That's
I'm emotionally stable, I'm emotionally supportive, I
yep.
can bring peace, I can communicate effectively, I am, I can help you lay an emotional secure foundation, and so
Yep.
that I can, and this is her saying, so that I can bask in my femininity and you can become vulnerable. You know what I mean? Because that's essentially what we're missing. And I'm gonna go back to men's mental health and our fucking suicide rate, is because in our relationships, statistics say that we're failing as a country. 46% divorce rate right now. So
That's
that's
crazy.
tough. That's tough, man. That means 50% of Americans that have been divorced, or
Yep.
been married, have been divorced. Damn near it.
Hey, I'm one
Um,
of them. Shit.
Me too. But I also take responsibilities for that first one. So I tell a woman, I had a woman, her and I, she's a good friend of mine, and she had first described that she was hardworking, independent, and there was another thing that she said too, and I don't quite remember off the top of my head, but it was masculine in energy. And I said, okay, that's lovely. I was like, that's wonderful. I know you as a woman though. I was like, instead of leading off and saying you're independent, say that you're peaceful. Instead of saying that you are self-supportive and all these other things, say that I can communicate myself really well to you, and I can allow you to be peaceful around me, so that you can be vulnerable, so that you can rest and let your guard down. So whenever I hear a woman, the first thing they say is like, I'm independent. It's, to
Yep.
me, that's a tremendous red flag, because guess what? Every man that lives on their own is what? Fucking
Yeah.
independent, bro.
Hell
I don't
yeah. I don't get no credit. I live in a damn studio apartment. People don't be like you independent. Shit.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good
No.
there's a lot of good women out there that are independent, but I
Yep.
need her to be independent like this. This is a
Yeah.
real, like, a woman being independent like this is what really matters. Hey, um I am going to do your meal prep for you, and I'm gonna take the car to go get the oil changed real fast, or something like, hey, I'm gonna go get
Yeah.
the kids, like, and then I'm gonna take them here and do this. And I don't really need you to come along. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Like that, I need that kind of independence. I
Yeah.
don't need the independence of, like, I don't need a man to pay my bills. That's just, you're just being, at that point, it's kind of
Yeah.
like facetious almost.
Yeah, no,
It's
I hear that too. That's why, in a way, I kind of retired from the dating game, because I'm like, hey, if you can't reciprocate back what I'm trying to give out, and it's not even about control, but if you're not helping me, how can I help you? We always say we want a teammate. We don't want an opponent. I'm tired of having an opponent, because now I got to go against everything that I've been taught It's not saying that I wouldn't listen to them, but like, yeah, you
Mhm.
come with this whole thing. I'm independent. If you so independent, that means you really don't need me. You know, like you really did. I mean, because when that dude is down the stairs or whoever they break it in the house, you're gonna need me.
Yeah,
You got to get all that. You're gonna have to get behind me, and I'm gonna have to risk my life to literally die for you. But
that's
you're
right.
saying you're independent. Now, if you're independent, we should be like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We should be down there fucking shit up. You know, we should be.
Hmm.
She's supposed. You know,
Hmm.
and how could women say they independent, but when they get divorced, they say they want alimony because usually alimony means that you make more money. So that's that's what I
Yeah.
always say. So it's like,
Yes. Yeah, you got some those. That's very valid points. Um, and but I can we can talk about that all day long. What really happens though? Here's for
mhm,
me. This is my issue.
mhm,
Is whenever you were talking masculine energy. So
mhm,
I've been to prison. I went to war. I spent my
mhm,
life in the military. I've been homeless, battled addiction. I've done
mhm,
almost everything that you can think of as far as level of difficulty of moving myself up and leveling up per se.
mhm.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but I've heard about it. To me, it's all about self improvement. I don't
Yeah,
need a woman to be masculine to me ever, and the reason why is because I'm masculine enough for
yeah,
for three fucking men. I don't need a woman to raise her voice at me, and I don't need a
mhm,
woman to arguing is going to happen, but I don't need a woman to raise her voice at me ever.
mhm.
Like it
Yeah,
just I don't need that. Like that's masculine energy, and if you're going to treat me like that, then expect the same reciprocity. So expect me to raise my voice right back at you. I'm not going to sit there and take it. I don't take that from nobody. Didn't take it whenever I was in prison. That means we went to the grid, tie your shoes up, let's go to the
yeah,
fucking grid. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it
yeah.
was. Like,
Well,
and I'm not saying I'm gonna fight a woman, but I'm saying this: I'm
hey,
not gonna
no,
sit there. I'm not gonna take that masculine energy because you're
yeah,
ruining the foundation that I set and that
yeah,
level of security that I provide for you to
got you,
bask in your femininity.
got you.
And you want to
So,
be feminine, right? You want me to treat you
yeah,
feminine like a lady and be chivalrous, right?
exactly. Yep. Yep. So I'm gonna read one of the comments from one of our regular viewers, Jamie. She said that that's your own personal experience because I was married for 8 years and did not get alimony. See, and some women I guess don't. You know, some just
Yeah.
be like, okay, I'm handling my business, man. That's good on you, Jamie, because a lot of times it's people always think about that. We're
Mhm.
getting one from our co-host Ralphine. A woman doesn't have to yell if things are being done decent and in order. So is that? What do you
That's
think about that? That's
So here's the issue.
okay.
It's not about first of all, it's not about decency.
Okay.
And a woman should never yell anyways, just like a man should never yell at her, right?
Yeah.
But if a woman is taken at that level,
Yeah.
and we'll say here's here's an issue that's you see that right there by itself is a red flag comment because
Mm.
you have to know the situation. A woman
Mm.
should never ever yell at a man should
Mm.
never ever raise his voice at a woman
Mm.
unless of course there's something that was done that was absolutely again that was just not conducive to the relationship or
Got
they were creating friction on purpose. If a
you.
person is creating friction on purpose and you can see the
Yeah.
malice in it,
Yeah.
then yes, 100%. Again, like that statement is so bold and
Yeah.
misleading
Yeah.
that it's again that right there is a huge red flag because you're automatically
Got,
putting it on the other person. You're not taking
well,
accountability for raising your fucking voice.
got you. So I got I got we got
Take
another comment.
accountability.
I want you to respond to this one too. So this is from my co-host Ralphine. Also, she said men today can't even agree to work a schedule.
Then you're looking at the
Something
wrong
that was
man.
not decent or order creates friction and malice. So she's saying that something that was not decent or in order creates friction and malice.
Okay. So to me, again,
Yep.
or to me, this is an
Yep.
issue that they're having.
Yep.
If you're with a man that can't agree on a schedule,
Mm-hmm.
then you're with the wrong man. I mean, you're going to
Mm.
have to, this is part of your decision making. This is accountability on your decision. And was the requirement for females to be feminine?
Yeah, I'm
A
glad you
female to
could
be
do that.
feminine. All right, so let me finish one and I'll go right to the other one. All right,
Okay.
so here it is. So if you're with a man and you can't agree on a schedule, now there's
Mm-hmm.
other variables go into play. Children. What is the schedule
Mm-hmm.
like? What is the earnings? Is he emotionally available? Is he emotionally established himself in you? And what is a woman? And then I'm gonna go into the next one. What is a woman to be feminine? A woman to be feminine is very, very simple. Being vulnerable. A man being able to be vulnerable in front of a woman is creating the feminine experience for him. What is a man being vulnerable? He has a rough day at work. He can sit there and decompress to his
Mm-hmm.
significant other and say,
Yep.
babe, I had a hard day at work. Like my boss was on me. I didn't get this project done. I'm kind of
Mm.
stressed out right now. And then what does she do in return? She might rub his shoulders or rub his head or
Yep.
give him a kiss on the forehead or tell him, give him an affirmation. Whatever his love language
Yep.
is what you're going to talk to. That's your
That's
responsibility
important.
to
Right.
learn his fucking love
That
language. If you
I've
can't
been
learn his
saying
love
that.
language and you can't talk his fucking love language, that's
Yep.
on you. That ain't on
That.
he's already shown you what his love language is. You should be
Yep.
able to pick it up. There's only
Yep.
five of them. There's only five of
Yep.
them, man. Pick that shit.
Yep.
And then talk to his love language. If it's
Yep.
physical touch, if it's going to
Yep.
be a nurturing, if it's an
Yep.
affirmation, talk to his love language. If it's sex, show him his
Yep.
love language. You know what I'm saying? Give him
Yep.
his love language. Let him know that you're
Yep.
there, and then tell him that you're talking to his love language so he understands. That's what
Yep.
feminine energy is. He's going to
Yep.
reciprocate the same to you. Now, if
Exactly.
if you're creating the friction, or if he's creating the friction, then you have to. It is again the person's responsibility to say you're creating friction, and you're doing it by doing this, by doing this, and by doing this. Now, why are you
Mm-hmm.
doing that, and what can I do to change that? So it's
Yes.
communicate. That's communication in a relationship. If you can't do it, then
Yep.
fucking learn, figure it
So,
out.
so
Sorry.
yeah. So with that, so would you think like, okay, do you think social media with these days? Because this is we don't call it a podcast. It's really a show. But like
Okay.
podcasts that kind of like you have women saying that men should be this, and then you have men saying that women should be this. Do you think like social media plays a role in that? Like,
Yeah, it does. Now, I'm going to answer Jamie's right here, but that goes
okay,
both ways in a partnership, and the female doesn't have to be feminine in order to do those things. Yes, a female does have to be feminine. You live in a patriarchal society, period.
mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for the men's breaking their backs on this patriarchal society in order to keep the infrastructure for this country and the agriculture running, the gas in your car and
Agreed.
all this other shit, the car on the road through
Yep.
mechanics, engineering, plumbing, and all the hard shit that
Yep.
we do, then yes,
Yep.
it is solely a responsibility of both of y'all, of course, but at the
Yep.
same time, a man has to have that affirmation because he's not going to get it at work by other men. We hold each other
Yep.
to a standard whenever we're
Yeah.
working, period.
Yep.
So here you say, damn, ladies, he said you better be able to read minds and figure it out. No, the fuck I didn't. What I
No,
said
no.
was this right here was communication. You see how y'all even, I said communication is the key element to what? Successful relationships.
Yep.
It's key communication, period.
Yep.
Who, what, when, where, how. It's these elements right here. It's called the reporting
Yep.
procedures. So
Mm.
if you can't deal with it, then don't fucking get in a relationship. If you can't
But
deal with your man, then you didn't date him long enough. You didn't see
mm.
what he was like when he was angry. I'm telling you
Well,
right now, if you get a man angry, he's going to show you who he is. And
that
this is the
I
problem with
agree.
today. Also, here's another issue
Yep.
with today. Women be getting pregnant by motherfuckers they know for 3 months. How are you
Hey.
gonna know a man in 3 months?
Yep.
For real?
Yep.
Like, let's just be
Yep.
honest. I got zero kids. I got
Yep.
zero kids, man. Zero.
Mm.
And it ain't because I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, there's reasons why.
Yep.
Like you have to put
No,
in the
you got to
effort to
choose your.
know.
Yeah, I say you always got to choose your mate carefully. Like me, I got married after knowing my ex for a total of a week, but it's because I got shot in Iraq. I was like losing it, but I wish I would
Mhm.
have known her better. We were married for 14 years. Had I known what I was getting into and knowing her and being with her, and like you were saying with the love language, even being in the dating game now, like when I was in the dating game, girls used to ask me that. Well, not women would always say like, what is your love language? Like they would
Mhm.
ask, but then when we start dating, none of that ever happened. Like none of the things I wanted never happened. So
I couldn't, and it's tough out here. It's tough, man. And
yep.
and Jamie keeps asking me these questions that I want to get to. What is the man? Why is the man getting a woman pregnant? Okay, why is the hey?
Yep.
How are you? So
Hey, that's
here's is this Jamie?
hey,
Yes, how are
Hey,
you?
hey, how are you? It's nice to meet you.
I'm
Okay,
totally joking
so
with you on here and just trying to talk, but we're about to get into it. Go ahead.
sweet. All right, so well, all right. So here's my view. It takes two to tango, right?
Absolutely.
It takes two. So the way I figure it is this right here. If a woman is willing to have sex with a man without a condom and allows him to ejaculate in her, then
Oh
guess
my
what?
God.
We're grown-ups here. I'm
I didn't know
45
what we
years
were
old.
getting into. You get
so
hold on. Let
so
me listen. When I was typing, we weren't having sex yet. Okay, so
so
we weren't.
That's
Okay,
my
so here's
so
the
opinion.
thing.
run it.
If
So go ahead. Go
so
ahead. Go
here's the
ahead.
thing.
Talk to me
But
nice. Talk to me
so
nice. Okay.
I am nice. I
Oh,
am
this is
nice.
about to
Just
get
kidding.
good. I gotta
I'm
turn my
I
hat
just
backwards for this one.
but here's my
This is
thing
about to
too.
get
All right, I'm a scientist, right? So
right.
my background is literally like I chemistry, endocrinology. So I'm very blatant and forward about stuff. I'm not going to sit here and beat around the bush with it. So if a man and woman decide to have sex together without a condom, they better do one or two things. Either the woman better be on birth control to not procreate, or the man better use the pull out method. One of the two. Either
hey.
way, that there's still a possibility of the woman getting
Or
pregnant.
the man can get a condom.
Yeah, or a man could get a condom, of course. That I forgot that one. Yeah, but yeah,
Because
basic.
you missed it. Because my thing is, I want you to catch. You're doing a lot of what the women should be doing, and I love that because we need to know. A lot of women don't know.
Yep.
But also, you could have got the condom and already had it in your pocket. It had it on the dick before
Okay.
I was on birth control.
All right. So all right, first of all, I'm gonna get to
Two
this.
can tango because we're gonna tango. Go ahead.
No, we're not gonna tango. Who controls sex?
Uh, ooh, who we fucking? Because I control sex. What do you
Bingo.
mean?
You said it, not me. Who
I
controls
control
sex
the
again?
sex. You know,
Yeah. Well, my
I definitely
producer got
control the
5
sex.
Women.
kids.
Women control
Because it's a
sex.
hole. You have to decide to jump into a hole, right? If you see a hole when you're walking, you got to either step in the hole, walk past the hole, right? If the hole is
Well,
the control.
Women control sex, right?
yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
since we
But men can
established that
also
women
control sex. Like sex can also be a self-controlled thing.
no, when we're talking about whenever we're talking about permission, women control sex. They
damn right.
control
I
what
agree
goes
with
into
that.
their body. If not, it's sexual
This is
assault.
also
Yep.
a man thing too. Men get raped and all kind of, come on.
But that's
Okay,
like
we're
Men
going
that's
back to
control sex
you're
extreme though.
too.
talking that is non sequitur to the original
Women
topic.
can
Okay.
women rape
Women
men? Can
control sex.
Okay.
Women control sex. They
yeah.
control their
Can
bodies. They control what goes
yeah.
inside of their bodies. So if a woman says no because a man doesn't have a condom, that means no, or that's sexual assault. I live in a like I
Well,
live in reality. Like I don't sit here and talk about men getting raped and all this other stuff. I'm talking
That's
about in
reality.
consensual and I'm talking about consensual sex between a man and a woman and procreation. Because the question that you alluded to in the very beginning was why is a man and a woman getting pregnant after 3 months? This is the topic. We're not deviating from that. The
Oh,
topic
who
is
brought
that.
that up?
Because I brought it up because this is what happens in society
Okay.
right now is a lot of young women and men are having children together and not knowing their partner. Thus, they don't know their love language. They don't know how they're
Absolutely.
talking
yeah,
to each
I
other.
can agree with
They don't,
that.
Absolutely.
like these, and that's really the topic is, who's going to be providing with the emotional security, what a man should
Okay.
be providing. What I feel a man should provide is the emotional security for a woman to be feminine. And then you asked
Well,
what femininity is
let me
too.
ask you both a question. Can a woman rape a man?
Yes.
That's it. So a
There's
woman can
so many
actually rape a
instances where, because you guys, I really believe we have to be sensitive to our audience. I'm a part of the
okay.
audience. Okay.
Okay.
And I only say that, well, only because a lot of molestation happens at young ages. You know what I mean? So a little boy getting watched by his aunt, you know what I mean? She's feeling on him, touching on him. That's a totally different scenario. You know what I mean? That is reality. And that is what I'm trying to stress, because it's like alarming to alarm that and not know that that is like a thing. And so permission does come from a boy, a man. That also is a thing to where I don't want to do that, but yet this person wants to show you something because they're taking care of you. You know what I mean?
What about consenting adults?
So that's another part of where I'm like, when I started talking, I said it depends on who's having sex. I control my sex, but it depends on, you know, who it is. A child should not be having sex, right? So there's no control there. That's rape. Those are real things. Even though, you know, two adults, you know, getting a man and a man getting raped, we don't want to think about those things, but that's reality, and that is really going on. So.
Oh, I know. I've been in prison, so I know.
I hear you. He's like, stop talking about that.
I'm very conscious of that. But no, you brought up a very valid point when you're talking about the youth in that regard. Yes, but I think we were leaning towards more of the, you know, of age consensual
That's
part.
how it starts. So you have to understand a lot of mentality of why is this going on as adults? Why do they not know that they need to meet each other early? Why or have more time with each other before they're having kids? Why do they not know that? Because they were being taken advantage of probably as children. So their minds are rewired to this advantage to where this is okay. I don't know this person. I could just get with this person and just have a baby. I don't know what a baby is. You know, I only know being abused. So maybe my emotions are abused to the point where I'm making this.
So being promiscuous just because of the trauma.
A lot of people are promiscuous because of their abuse.
Yeah.
A lot of women are prostitutes because of their abuse.
I can agree.
You're right.
With
that. No, she's 100%. She's 100% right. I've read the studies.
Not doing this, and why is she not doing that? What's her trauma? We don't have to give a fuck either, because we all have our own stuff going on. We do not have.
But what about just liking sex?
But wholeheartedly, there's a reason. You don't like sucking dick all day, girl. You don't. Okay, it's just wired to do that. You know what I mean? It's been okay, and now you're getting income from it, and you know, and now you've got a baby out of it, and the pimp is okay with it, and this is your lifestyle now.
Mm-hmm.
But what if that person like has like a sexual appetite that just wants to have sex like a lot, no trauma or anything like that?
I don't know.
Sorry,
I've also seen girls who like where it's so strict at their house to where they want to see. You know what I mean? It was so strict. Like my dad was a pastor, my dad was a police officer, my dad was a something to where, you know, and they just want to see. You know what I mean? That's a thing too. My mom was crazy.
Like
it definitely
my mom
is.
was crazy, and I want to know why the doors was locked, so I would unlock them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. My ex her father was a pastor and psychologist also, so I totally understand.
With the freaky, you know, so.
Yeah, so I understand that. I understand every single aspect that you've aforementioned. But I was really talking about, you know, the consensual part, you know, because whenever we're talking about consensual part of two individuals of age, we'll say, even hypothetically, two 25-year-olds, they know what can happen from sex, so on and so forth. Then the woman really controls the scenario itself. So, you know, I wasn't really talking in hypotheticals, which we went to, you know, but I understand the complexity of all that 100%. Yes. And you are 100% right too. Whenever children are sexually.
Jamie don't agree with us. Jamie doesn't think women control sex. She said it takes two to have sex.
Women control this.
I think it's 100%. Talking about.
Yeah, maybe initiation. Like women control what goes inside of their body. If not, it's sexual assault on a man. Period. Like I've been incarcerated with these individuals that are fucking sick. So I understand all of this. Like it's a real thing, and that just goes with the ones that are reported. We're not even talking about the ones that aren't reported.
Do you think oral sex is a form of rape?
Yes, absolutely.
So then a man can control it, because if a woman just started going down on him.
But that man is not going to tell you to stop.
He's not going to usually.
This isn't funny.
So whenever we're talking about consensuality.
No.
It's not going to say.
Yeah, you know, hey, that's. Yeah, it's one of those things. You're never gonna tell her no. You're gonna be like, oh, shit.
He might say no.
Yeah, I wrote that comment.
She probably has spiky teeth.
No.
Okay. She probably has spiky teeth, and he's like, no. You know?
She bites. Yeah, she bites. Yeah.
That's
on
why
the
she was
fighter.
hitting him.
You know,
No
you
one's letting
got
her do
to.
that. She has
This
spiky.
is- oh God, I got so much to say. I can't say. I'm not saying anything though. So
Hey, you can. This is smoking and joking podcast. You can say
yeah,
anything
but
Say what you want.
yeah,
you
yeah.
want.
All right, I'm picking up what y'all were putting down for real. But yeah, like yes, oral sex can be considered sexual assault, 100%. One
Gotcha.
definitely so. You
So
know,
if a guy is
So then
unattracted,
two that so then the both sex have it's a permission from both sex then.
to me,
yeah.
it has to be. It has to be
Okay.
permission from both. You know,
Okay.
so. Bro, like I mean, I after spending 16 and a half years in the Marine Corps
Mhm.
and going through as a uniform victim advocate and dealing with because I worked in the sex industry too after the Marine
Mm-hmm.
Corps, like consensuality means everything.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Period. The ends. Like if it's not consensual, if it's not verbalized,
Yeah.
then it doesn't like it's wrong
True.
100%. You know, so to me that's it's kind of a touchy subject in that regard just because like and that's the reason why I also say women control that because a
So
man doesn't control it, you know,
So what
overall for
about
me.
porn? Like talking about porn, like okay, so when people look at porn, they look at it like more of a. It's not really. I mean, you could watch porn with storylines and stuff like that, but it's like just getting straight to the point. So, do you
Yeah.
think like? Do you think like a person that consumes a lot of porn? Do you think that affects them when they try to get in a relationship? Because they haven't like they have this high standard, so they looking at this girl is so like she got to do this
Mhm.
freaky stuff. It got to be like this. Do you think that does have an effect? You
I
know.
do. I think 100% it does. Um, in my experience in the adult film industry, it was very unique and because I was already older, I was already in my mid
Mm-hmm.
30s. So, you know, as far as all that's concerned, I had already
Mm-hmm.
what's the right words here? Like I had already had plenty of sex before that, so I already knew kind of everything that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not like it was only for to gain to get
Yeah.
monetarily stable while I was down in Florida. Really, I
Okay.
only did it for like a year and some change, a year and a half. We'll say a year and a half total. Um, but the industry itself is a very it's it's fucking sick.
Right.
There's a lot of weird people out there, bro. There's a lot of
Yeah.
weird people. That
I could believe it.
there's a lot of weird people, and I did. It was me and my partner at the time. We did like live cameras together. We got paid like a lot of money to do individual scenes
Mm-hmm.
together. It was, but men, whenever they would make their requests, because it was mainly men that made
Yeah.
certain requests and stuff, they would be they would be just so far out. It's just like
Yeah. He's
mind. It
like
would be
you a
mind boggling.
he's a
Like
freaky man.
you want me to fuck her on a Walmart blow up rubber ducky while she wears a
God,
Donald Duck
that's
T-shirt,
a
and you
wild
gonna pay us $1,000 to do that? Oh hell
man.
yeah!
That's
Let me go
so.
to Walmart and get this big ass fucking blow up. Like yeah, I'll do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you want to see me like fuck her with a Donald Duck T-shirt on? Like I'm just like this is fucking weird. But for $1,000, you know, okay, bro, like we'll do it. You know, like
Yo,
25 minutes, 30 minutes for $1,000. Yeah, bro. Okay. Yeah.
what?
Got you. That's real shit. That's
Yo.
real. But people, but
No,
men out
but
there.
I could believe it because what the human mind people forget about it. Whatever you can think of in your mind, it's other motherfuckers that have thought of the same thing.
and they
But
and
the
they already
rubber
done
ducky
it.
part, hell
Yeah.
no, I'm man.
Right. That shit's gonna be like that
Yep.
shit's gonna be in my book. Like that's that's
Hey, no,
that's gonna be
that's
in my
gonna be an
book.
That's gonna be an interesting read. My producers say he just want woman to work for his company. That's all he cares about. But
Yeah.
he likes this one place. Like I said, it's a Chinese place that he
Yeah.
loves to go to. It's in Tijuana. So he loves that place. I don't know why.
Listen, I have some stories about Tijuana, bro. We can't talk about them, but we'll talk about it offline. But I got
Oh,
some stories about
got
Tijuana,
you.
bro. Like for real, for real. Good times, a lot of good times.
Hey man, if you hey when you come down here, hey,
I'll be down there. I'll be down there at the end of this year, brother. I'll
I
be
want to
down there.
hell
go.
yeah, we could
I want
definitely
to
go and
come.
see. Oh, you want to partake,
We all
but it's
link
a
in
good,
that.
it's a Chinese restaurant
I
now.
want to
It's
come too.
That sounds like a
good.
plan to me.
Okay.
We bringing her too,
All
but
right, hell yeah, bro. So
yeah, it sounds good.
so I had a question for you too, Ralphie. So did Martin female like did the Martin females being on like Facebook kind of Meg Thee Stallion kind of mess it up for you women? Like they said, we were talking about Sexy Red earlier,
Messed it up for
being
who?
that like this way. I mean, in general, like the OnlyFans girls. Do you think that
What
we're so able
exactly?
to?
What is the question? What did they do?
So, like, just looking at it like this, like, they're easy access now. So you don't even have to put in the same work. If you want to see a girl really you just go to her OnlyFans. So do you think it loses its, it loses that because it's like when y'all in her in the room, you already seen all these girls naked. So do you think it's like so much that men
I
are
think that
like,
puts me at the top. I think that gives me nice closet coochie
okay,
scores.
okay.
I think I get closet coochie scores. I think it's a closet coochie score. Yeah. Because ain't no way does that make me, because if I see the OnlyFans stuff, all of those things as jobs,
Yep.
like real jobs. And if you're not
Yep.
making money off of it, I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to talk about you because that's what that platform is for. So I don't think
Yeah.
Meg Thee Stallion or any of these women are messing anything up for me per se, because these are already women that we want. I want to see her naked. Okay, I do.
Yeah.
I want to see her naked, and
Yeah.
she's making. And this isn't me personally saying this. I'm just saying
Yeah.
as a fan, right? Would love to see Meg Thee Stallion naked. So she's now posting this. This is just adding to her income. That's just all. She's making way more. These aren't $5 pitches. Okay, she's not. Hers aren't $5.
Okay.
Maybe the girl on Instagram modeling
So
is.
say your man was making the OnlyFans. Would you care? Would you just tell him to get a job, or would you just tell him to get the money?
So I have had an experience with that, and I actually wished him well because
why? Because he had an OnlyFans.
Well, because I don't want to be on OnlyFans, and I know that I might make your OnlyFans a little bit more money. So now I'm feeling a little uncomfortable knowing that you have one of these, and I don't know what's on it, and I'm not subscribed, and I'm finding out about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of, if it's not something that was like a joint effort, like, hey, we're gonna make this account together to make more money, I would be cool with that. I would. But because it was like his thing, I don't know what's on there. I don't want to be associated with the things on there. I don't
But he's making money though. Like he's smashing.
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Other people are making money doing other things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
sure
on.
making money. I just, no.
I'm with her. I'm with her on that one, and that's part of the reason. Like, I'll be honest with you, like the stuff that I made whenever I was younger too. Like, some of that shit's on Pornhub, some of that shit's on X videos and RedTube. All right. So the issue is like once it's out there, it's going to be out there forever. Now, and since I've grown and matured since things, it's been 8 years. It's been 7 or 8 years. It's been 8 years since I've done that. So it was before OnlyFans and everything else. And yes, my mom and dad know about it. Everybody knows about it from where I'm from. So the thing is, it's like now as a businessman and somebody in the community, yeah, like I'm not going to be associated with a woman that has an OnlyFans page. I'm not going to. And the reason why, like, do I want to walk into a business meeting with a nice suit on, like with the income that I have and the people that are around me, my tribe, do I want them to know that they're to think in my mind like they see my woman naked? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like it's just like, are they masturbating thinking about her?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whenever they like, come on, man, that shit like that. It's to me, a what we call a high value woman. I don't think that a real high value, classy, elegant woman is gonna really worry about that penny as much. Like, yeah, sure. Like we're talking Megan Thee Stallion,
You know what
whoever.
I mean? Like, yeah, that's adding to the income. Go ahead. Me doing it, McDonald's is paying managers $19.50, okay? Hour. You're not getting that on OnlyFans. You're not getting that an hour on there.
well, this is a question for both of you guys. Do y'all think traditional sexual relationships are outdated? Do you think that You know, and that in the terms of like one night stands or just being, having sex in general. Because now
Well,
we got
I'll let
Kyrie.
her go first because I have a whole bunch to say about that. But go ahead, I'll let her
Okay.
go first.
Is my mom gonna see this?
Once it gets on the internet, it's there forever.
Okay. I like to have sex. So I just think it just depends on who the person is. If I am feeling you that day and it happens, cool. I'm not stressing it. I might not even call you tomorrow. Okay, but if I don't, because I wasn't here for the relationship, I was here for the sex. I just started with I like sex.
Okay.
So, but if I was feeling it so much to where I wanted to continue it and see you, that might build and form into a relationship, and then we might, so the traditional way of dating and courting and is really cute. Yeah, take me out, but I have hormones, you know what I mean? I like to do things too. You might catch me at the right time of the week where I'm really just trying to fuck, So we can skip dinner. But you might catch me on a week where it's like I've been so lonely and I want somebody to take me outside and I want to flip my hair and you know what I mean? It just depends. I can't tell you. I'm a traditional woman. Like I have a piercing in the middle of my forehead. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
so
the
what
average.
day is that though?
Like
what,
girl.
what date is that?
Shut your ass up. Reed is so funny, bro. Wednesday is hump day. Reed, stay smart, okay?
Hey.
Reed, stay smart. Wednesday is hump day, Reed.
Okay, all right, good.
You missed it yesterday.
All right, so we got hers. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever, like for me, especially now that I'm older and whatnot, like for the most part, I enjoy. For me, it's become a little bit more intimate for the fact that I want to like know the woman. I want to be able to mesh with them, have the solid communication efforts, have that emotional connection before I get extremely intimate with her. Because I've already done a lot of the hoeing, which we already talked about. I'm going back into the hoeing phase. You know what I'm saying? Just because of all that
I
bullshit
didn't
that I
go
just
through
went
mine
through.
yet. I got I'm just kidding.
So, but
kidding.
but this was the question was about traditional. And the thing is too is like with this current, with my situation and whatnot, I don't know if I'm gonna ever get back into a relationship just because it's so easy for today for women to abandon men and have absolutely no regard for their mental health or care about their feelings or anything like that. It's more about, well, I'm an independent woman, I can do whatever the fuck I want. You're right, you can, but it doesn't mean you're not going to hurt somebody along the way. So, so I take that into account now. I didn't used to take that into account. I used to do all the other shit. And then, but at the same time, too, whenever I'm dealing with a woman today, it's different. Like I'll tell them what my expectations are. If I'm just there to lay some pipe, I let them know immediately, hey, I'm here for this. You know what I mean? I'm not here to get to really, but I mean, I got to have a connection with them. I got to be able to communicate with them. They have to have, standards. They have to understand what chivalry is. They got to understand how I'm going to treat them as a lady. They got to understand also they have to reciprocate that energy to get dick down. Period. Like period. The end. Like I do care about myself. What? Like,
Anthony said you got to respect yourself to get the dick. It don't matter what you talk about.
You have to respect yourself. Like,
hey, it's
you know what I mean?
mental health awareness month.
I put my chair up. Hold on.
Yeah. So, but in the aspect of like on tradition itself and what I look for in a woman traditionally, it really sex isn't even really in the top 5. It's not. Like you got to be able to talk to my spirit. You got to be able to talk my communication, my love languages. I got to be able to talk to yours and understand yours. We got to be able to share those types of things. And I'll be honest with you, you want to talk about bomb ass sex? That's whenever bomb ass sex happens, is once you've already established those communication things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yep. So guys, we have to wrap it up because we started late, but I want to thank you both. Hey,
yes.
Ralphine, I will see you Sunday or probably Wednesday if for that. Nah, I'm joking.
Wednesday's the day.
Wednesday.
Anthony, thank you so much, brother. Thank you,
Absolutely,
man.
bro. It's
Thank
always a
you.
pleasure being on here. Thank you so much for
Hell
inviting me.
yeah, man.
Bye. It was nice
Hell
meeting you, Anthony
yeah.
Reed. I will see you
It's
on
nice meeting
Sunday.
you too. I'll
All
send you a
right.
Facebook
Nice
request.
meeting you guys.
Yes.
All right. Hey man, y'all seen that? That was a show that went off the rails, man. Big shout out to Anthony, who's a frequent guest on the Smoking and Joking podcast. Rafi, who's my co-host, who will be back on Sunday, so we can talk that same shit, you know. So thank you guys so much, man. Make sure you like and subscribe, man. If you like more of that, man, we're gonna have more of that. And don't hesitate to call in, man. Like, just call in. You know, so hey, this is Smoking Joking Podcast show. So, like I said, man, we popping over here, man. You better get on the train right now, cause hey, before it leaves you, man. So, like I say, please make sure you like, subscribe. This show is sponsored by our tiers. Vest 365. Make sure you donate to Vest 365, who help get veterans back on their feet. And just remember, man, if you smoke them, if you got them, smoke them if you got them. Love one another. Remember, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Make sure you check on everything. Make sure if you need a buddy, hey, call a buddy up, man. Hey, and make sure you have protected sex, man. Please.